In this video, I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on M1 Finance because I went into M1 thinking, what's the big deal? Why do so many people talk about M1 Finance? And as I found out, there are a lot of good reasons to get M1 Finance. There's so many cool features that aren't available at other brokerages, and I'm going to give you the breakdown in this video. So my name is Kevin Conway. I make review videos like this one all the time and other personal finance videos. So if you like that sort of thing, be sure to check them out and subscribe to the channel. And if this video helped you out in any way whatsoever, I'd really appreciate you just giving a quick like. Now let's get into it. So here's how I'm going to order this video. I'm going to first talk about M1 Invest, which is frankly the core platform to M1 Finance. This is the buying and selling of stocks. Then I'm also going to talk about M1 Spend and M1 Borrow, both of which are less important but are still key features to the platform. And let me also say that if you like M1 Finance, be sure to use someone's referral link online. I have mine below. You don't need to use it, but if you use it, you get $10 to sign up for M1 Finance if you deposit $100 into the account. Again, you don't need to use mine. Just find someone's out there, because if you do that, you'll get a free $10, and that's a 10% return for doing nothing at all. Before we jump into it, comment below with what stocks you're buying today. So let's get into M1 Invest. Now, what are the key things with M1 Invest? Well, if you're taking away a few key things, they got to be number one, that it's free to use. There are no account minimums and there are no account maintenance fees for M1 Invest, and there are no commissions whatsoever to buy and sell stocks and ETFs. Now, of course, a lot of other brokerages out there like Robinhood, SoFi Invest, Charles Schwab, and basically any brokerage worth its salt doesn't offer commissions anymore, which is a great thing for investors. But M1 Finance has a lot of other features that aren't found in other brokerages. For example, one of the cool features is fractional share investing. I've talked about fractional share investing in my other videos, but here's the basic takeaway with fractional share investing. You're able to purchase a fraction of a share as opposed to having to purchase the entire thing. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, because share prices sometimes can be $200,000, $500,000, or $2,000 per share. And at other brokerages, you would have to purchase the entire share in order to have a share of stock in that company. If you're just starting out and you don't have tons of money, or even if you do and you don't want to put all of your eggs into one basket, well, fractional share investing could be a great way to get a piece of a company but not have to put all of your funds into that one stock. It's a great feature, and it is being rolled out at other brokerages, but M1 Finance has had this for quite a while, and they have been one of the pioneers in fractional share investing. One of the offshoots with fractional share investing is the fact that you're able to be fully invested at all times. If you have cash, you're able to purchase 1/10,000th of a share at M1 Finance. This is great because you're not going to have any cash drag in your portfolio. You're able to put it all to work right away. You may be saying to yourself, so what? Other brokerages like Fidelity, which I made a video about, has those features as well. But here is where M1 Finance really sets itself apart. Portfolio level drip. Okay, what does that mean? Portfolio level drip means that you can reinvest your dividends across your entire portfolio automatically. This is super interesting and something I haven't seen at other brokerages, and it is excellent for dividend investors that get consistent dividends and want to reinvest them across the entire portfolio. So how does this work in practice? Well, here's what happens. You get dividends, it goes into your cash balance, and then depending on your allocation set in M1 Finance, it'll divide that cash amongst your entire portfolio, putting it in certain securities that are underweighted and not putting them in other securities that are overweighted. This is probably my favorite feature of M1 Invest. Now, related to the portfolio level drip is the idea that you can create custom pies. Now, this is essentially your asset allocation, and you could divide it in any number of ways that you want. You can make as much customization as you desire. That's really kind of the key thing with M1 Invest. You could have all the customization that you could ever want. So what are these pies? Well, when you log on to your platform, you're able to actually select different stocks or ETFs and add them into a custom pie for you. You can allocate 20%, 30%, 24% to one security, 18% to another, so long as they all add up to 100%. Now that'll be your pie. Now every time money is allocated to that pie, it'll divide it evenly because you're able to get fractional share investing. And remember, because you're able to have portfolio level drip, you're able to have all of your dividends reinvested in that manner as well. At other brokerages, you would have to assemble individual positions in individual companies and then each and every time you wanted to purchase them, go into every one of those trades and make a new trade. But with pies, you're able to select as many stocks as you want and allocate it automatically. And if you're the kind of person who doesn't want to spend all the time designing your own pies, well, no worries, because they have expert pies, which are basically asset allocations derived from CFAs in order to give you the kind of goal that you're looking for. So they have dividend pies, they have conservative pies, they have sustainable investing pies. They have around 30 or so different pies that you could choose from and actually click and automate your investing by virtue of the work done by somebody else. And it's worth noting that these pies don't come with any additional surcharges. If you're investing in ETFs, there's of course going to be the expense ratios, but you're going to pay those on any ETF if they have expense ratios, no matter what it is. But there are no surcharges for the expert pies. Another really cool feature is the auto invest feature. So if you have this turned on, as long as you have $10 or more in your cash balance, it's going to automatically invest it for you according to your asset allocations or your pies on the next trading day. So again, if you have dividends or cash or anything sitting in that cash account, it'll automatically flow in the exact manner that you decide. Coupled with this is the rebalancing features, which I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, which again allows the auto invest to target underweighted securities that you have in your pies and not put cash into securities that you already have a large position in. M1 Finance further automates the process by allowing you to have automated deposits into your account every so often. So if you want it once a week, every time you're paid, once a month, half a year, whatever it is, you can actually transfer it automatically, very seamlessly, as a matter of fact, into your account. All you need to do is log on, connect your bank account, which took me all of about 5 seconds to do, and then you're able to actually transfer the money automatically. M1 Finance has a terrific app with a great user interface, and frankly, I think their website is even more streamlined and better. I really like sitting down on my laptop and actually able to see all of what's offered in the platform online as well as with my iPhone. M1 Finance allows you to share your portfolio with other people as well, which is really cool because you're able to see what other people are invested in, but you don't have to disclose all of your private account information to them if you don't want to. This is great for communities like this when you can actually talk to one another in the personal finance world about what you're doing with your finances. It could be really motivating to see what other people are doing and maybe model some of your own behavior after them. M1 Invest also has great research tools as well. So if you're looking for a particular type of stock or ETF that fits exactly what you want, you can search for it in their filters online or on their app. M1 Invest also has government insurance as well, just like any other brokerage. So in the far off chance that M1 Invest were to go bankrupt or misuse your securities in some manner, you're going to be protected up to the federal limit. One of the things that really stuck out to me was the fact that they're very transparent about how they make their money. So of course, M1 Finance doesn't charge money on commissions or account maintenance fees, so you may be thinking, how do they exactly make money? Well, they have a section on their website which tells you exactly how they do so. In case you're wondering, some of them are the fact that they make interest from cash, they make money lending your securities to short sellers, they make payment for order flow, and they also make money on their premium services such as M1 Borrow, M1 Spend, and other features like that. I'm going to go into those a little bit later in the video. Now, who is M1 Invest not for? Why would you not get M1 Invest? Well, basically, the biggest reason is if you were a day trader. So if you need to make multiple trades in a single day, M1 Invest is not going to be the platform for you. Now, why is that? Because M1 Invest only places trades once or twice, depending on your account type, per day. So they make it in the morning and they make it in the afternoon. This is so that they can keep costs low, but it really shouldn't concern the average investor who isn't going to be getting in and out of a security within minutes or hours. And besides, my personal opinion is that you probably shouldn't day trade because, like the old saying says, the best way to make a small fortune in day trading is to start with a large fortune. Time in the market beats timing the market. So if you stay invested with them, it shouldn't really concern you that M1 invests your money about once or twice a day. And that's pretty much the only reason why I wouldn't go with M1 Invest. I can't really think of many other reasons why this platform wouldn't work for you. So overall, I opened an account. I'm really pleased with it, and I'm going to be allocating a lot more of my net worth to M1 Finance to do a lot of my investing. Now let's talk about some of the other features of M1 Finance. They have a program called M1 Borrow, which is paired up with the M1 Invest platform. So what is M1 Borrow? It's simply a way to borrow money. In order to use M1 Borrow, you must must have at least $10,000 in your account, and once you do so, you can borrow up to 35% of the account value in your account. The interest rate to borrow money against your securities is actually better at M1 Finance than I've seen at any other brokerage, with the exception of only one, and that's Interactive Brokers, and that one is very limited because you have to have a certain amount of money in your account to access the better rate, which is substantially higher than most people have. It's like $100,000 or so. So what is that interest rate? Well, it's generally 2% plus the Fed funds rate. So today, it's about 3.5%. This is a variable interest rate, and it's the interest rate that you pay only on the amount of money that you draw from your line of credit. You could pay back the money at any time. You could do it within a day, you could do it within a year, and you're going to be charged interest only on the outstanding balance you have pulled from M1 Borrow. Now, comparing the borrowing rate of 3.5% to other lenders like Charles Schwab, which charges 9 or 10% on their margin rates, that's an actual phenomenal deal at M1 Invest, something I didn't actually expect to occur. But let me warn everybody out there, I highly discourage people from borrowing money against their securities just to borrow the money and then reinvest it or leverage their portfolio. Leveraging your portfolio may seem like a great idea when the market is going up and up and up, and you're able to borrow money and invest it and earn money on the amount that you borrowed and the money that you have invested. But inevitably, we will have a downturn, and you're going to lose money at a substantial rate by borrowing. Now, that's just my personal opinion. Do what you want. I'm not a financial advisor, so of course, follow your own financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes, but I'd highly discourage anyone from borrowing money just to invest in the securities, even if mathematically and according to research, there's a lot of reasons why you would want to do that. For most investors out there, I'd highly discourage it. But with that being said, having the ability to borrow against your portfolio in a snap is a lot better than having to dip into your credit card account and borrow money at 10 or 15 or 20 or 25%. It could be a great alternative for people who are in a pinch. Now, of course, that's if people don't have an emergency fund, which is something I highly recommend doing. Check out my other videos if you want some more information on that. All right, now let's jump into M1 Spend. Now, there's not much to talk about here. It's in beta testing, but essentially what it is it's a checking account which earns you 1.5% on all of your balances in the checking account and 1% every time you use your debit card to make a purchase. This may seem like a good deal to some, and of course it's phenomenal when compared to the traditional brick and mortar banks out there, but it is not the best scenario that you can find yourself in. In order to get M1 Spend, you must sign up for M1 Plus, which costs $125 a year or a little over $10 a month. For $10 a month, this is not worth the value, and here's why. There are other debit cards out there which can earn you even more interest with $0 per month in cost, such as SoFi Money, an account that I highly recommend and something that I personally use. As well as there's a fact that if you use your M1 Spend account in order to earn 1%, that may seem like a good deal, but when you compare it to credit cards, which can earn you 2, 3, 4, 5%, it's not even close, especially when those credit cards will cost you nothing to own. Again, I have videos on that as well. So overall, that is M1 Finance. I've been extremely impressed so far with M1 Finance, and again, it is a platform that is free to use, free to sign up for. Try it out. If you don't really like it, there's really no harm in doing it, especially if you got that bonus for signing up. That's pretty much the M1 platform, and it is something I'm going to be personally using and probably making some update videos on later on. So what do you guys think of M1 Finance? So let me know in the comments below. Tell me if you've got M1 Finance, and if so, what stocks are you buying? I'm curious to know. Now, if you like this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time. Thanks.